Eldrazi Post, Grixis Reanimator, the other deck. Neither of these decks are playing fair at all.
Exactly. When Chalice of the Void is checking the unfair things we're in.
Ancient Tomb, turn 1 here for Allie on the draw, but will it be enough? Is this an Entomb from Plummer?
There is no way it is enough.
No, that's a bad sign. Not good. Danger. Danger. Gristlebrand into the graveyard.
It is like that.
Okay. Watch out. At least when you play an Ancient Tomb deck and this happens, you don't walk away thinking you punted. You're just like, yeah,
All right.
they made a Gristlebrand.
Yeah.
And then they drew 7. Michael down to 13.
Don't believe there is a start from Warfield that could have prevented this.
No, not.
Even Chalice on 1, Michael can just respond with the Entomb.
Her choices so far have been tap Tomb to take 2, or not. And she has correctly stayed at 20 life, as opposed to just going to 18 for no reason.
Likely going to see the concession in response to this Thoughtseize. All right.
All right. You get to see which Ancient Tomb deck we're on. I don't think Thought Knot, Shaper, Chalice. I don't think there's anything there that does anything.
I think it was a Walking Ballista.
Okay, not the Chalice.
We would have seen the Chalice on 1 if that had been there.
Yeah, you're right. Takes the Thought Knot, but that hand doesn't really have a way to answer the Gristlebrand.
The idea here maybe involves racing it.
If you draw Sorcerer's Spyglass, does that do anything? Then it can't draw 7 anymore?
It's possible that she could say draw All Is Dust.
There's no way you get to cast that in time. Maybe. Well, we'll see it play out. Remember, with Reanimator now, there's no counterspells. There's no Force of Will to draw into anymore. Well, there is. Is there? Never mind. There is.
This is Grixis. This is the blue one. This has Force of Will. Days, the whole 9 of free permission.
Careful study here from Plummer. So he's a massive cards here from the Gristlebrand. As Thought Not Seer with Animate Dead will get another card from the hand.
And at this point, it's just
it's just already
it's a
rough.
matter of time.
Well, he makes Eye of Ugin, so she can cast one of those Thought Knots that's still left. Is there still one, or are they all gone now?
There should be one, if memory serves.
All right. Matter Reshaper. Chalice of the Void. She's down to 9.
So I don't necessarily love the Chalice of the Void here, but if Plummer had attacked with Thought Not Seer, there was a window where Allie can block with the Matter Reshaper, put a land into play, rip All Is Dust, have another 2-mana land, and get to cast All Is Dust.
Yeah, because she's at 2, she can't do it, right, because of the Ancient Tomb?
Exactly. Now there's a little bit of an issue there.
Also, wait, All Is Dust also doesn't kill the Thought Not Seer. No, it kills the Animate Dead.
It kills the Animate Dead.
All right, we're good. And at 2, Allie does pick up the cards, not able to come back.
Do it there.
She did play to, she had kind of a very slim out, and she did play to it correctly.
Exactly.
Though part of this matchup is you hope that doesn't happen, and when it does, you hope you went first. And okay, good news. Allie does, for her, she does have some ways to adapt here after the board.
Exactly. She has Ensnaring Bridge and Leyline of the Void, and
4
those
copies.
are all things that are just going to give her something to actually interact with what Michael is doing in the early phases of the game.
So I have a question here. So intriguingly, what Grixis Reanimator does is post-board, they bring in Show and Tell, or sometimes through the breach, but this is going to be Show and Tell in Michael's situation, because to combat Graveyard Hate. Do you still do that against Eldrazi? Because that can backfire.
So it ends up being a situation where you have to consider even if you put in, say, Allison put in, let's say she just puts in an Ulamog. Worst case scenario, puts in Ulamog. That is what you could see coming from this Eldrazi deck. Do you think the thing you put in can race this Ulamog? And if the answer to that is yes, then maybe it's fine to bring in. If you do not think that you can race an Ulamog, it's going to be a lot sketchier.
Yeah, I mean, if the card Michael put in is a Tidespout Tyrant, absolutely. Gristlebrand, maybe. The other one's probably not. Iona, comically bad here. That one's coming out.
That one's probably going to see any card at all.
Yeah. I will name colorless. You cannot do that. I will. It does nothing against any of her cards. It stops Leyline of the Void.
We could end up
No, it
seeing
doesn't.
Void Winnower coming in. Turns off anything even, such as Ulamog.
Yeah, I can't even.
Literally, cannot even.
Leyline of the Void from Allie. She's on the play here for game 2. Both players keeping on 7. Starts on Cloud Post. And let's take a look at the rest of the hand. Looks like a Throne of Amethyst has come into play out of the sideboard. Other than that, though, she's got Endbringer and a bunch of mana, but it is Cloud Post, Glimmer Post, so a bunch of mana.
Right, and Plummer's basically just taking the Thorn of Amethyst here with it doing a sort of time walk impression.
Yeah. I mean, Allie has a turn 3 Endbringer. We'll see if Michael can combat that. Not yet. Plays land and Lotus Petal. Allie copies the posts again, plays Endbringer. And a Brainstorm from Michael.
Are we going to see the new Ulamog coming from Warfield next turn?
I love the simplicity of this deck. It's 3, 6, 9 mana. All right, Force of Will counters the Endbringer. Pitching Is It Charm. But Allie has 1,000 mana. Pithing Needle is the play. And go back over to Michael. And a Caracas from Al Warfield. And Pithing Needle on Eye of Ugin right now. Allie doesn't have one yet. I still think that's the right name here. I mean, like what, we're at Walking Ballista, Eye of Ugin is kind of the options.
Yeah, there's just not a whole lot really that you could be naming at this point, but you do want to make sure and check in case you're afraid of something like Ratchet Bomb, maybe Relic of Progenitus might be on his radar.
I suppose Caracas would
Is
have
a
worked,
nice one.
and that was the one in play. Right now, Allie has tons of mana, but no player has much going on. It's going to be careful study from Michael. And it discards 2. He has boarded in Show and Tell. You see one of those put into the graveyard, and another one from the hand. He'll put Gristlebrand into play, and Allie does have an Eye of Ugin, but cannot use it because of that Pithing Needle, and now Michael draws 7.
That Eye of Ugin would have been able to grab Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger.
Another Pithing Needle. Allie will Caracas the Gristlebrand back. Now, second Needle.
That is on Caracas.
Okay, so if he can get the Gristlebrand into play again, he'll be set. Here is Animate Dead on Endbringer. Love it.
Look, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. It is literally just a 5/5 that pings things.
Allie trying to find a payoff. She can't use that Eye of Ugin. Can't use that Caracas.
Oh, this is a big spell.
All right.
Whatever it is big.
Remember, now, Michael, for that Endbringer, just a 5/5 here. And there we go. Here's Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. This is going to be a disaster.
2 lands for
That's
my
really just
Ulamog,
2.
the Ceaseless Hunger.
So what?
Eye of Ugin makes it cost 8, and then there are 4 Locusts in play.
Love it. She takes care of both Pithing Needles. Yeah, let's unlock everything.
You know what? I would love to activate my Eye of
Yeah.
Ugin. Thank you for asking.
Michael Force wills it, but I got news. Eldrazi plays more than one of that card. And we're going to go see her get another one.
Oh, yeah. She is just going to get an enormous spell every turn for the rest of the game.
Even if Michael Show and Tells a Gristlebrand into play, in response to the Show and Tell, she can Eye of Ugin up something to get. She's like, yeah, on the stack, I'll go get this Ulamog. Show and Tell resolves.
All right, you can have it.
Is it Charm from Michael? He's drawing 2 and discarding 2. I don't know where he's going with it, though. It's not great. Says go. Here's Eye of Ugin.
Likely looking for something to the effect of Tidespout Tyrant.
That would play really well here.
You could just chain, like, say you Show and Tell it in and then cast 3 cantrips and just bounce the Cloud Posts. All of a sudden, Allie has a hard time activating and casting Ulamog.
Thought Not Seer from Allie and Michael will pick up cards. We're headed to game 3. Now, I was actually wondering there with the amount of mana Allie had. Do you think, I believe she had 14 mana with Michael at 7, but she got Ulamog. Has she boarded out Walking Ballista, or is Ulamog just the safer play anyway?
Ulamog's a little bit safer when you know Plummer is on Force of Wills in your deck.
Okay.
So that's actually just a kind of fine play when you're at 20 life. you're not under a ton of pressure at that point.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
you could just lose an entire turn, and Plummer's way more likely to end up doing something preposterous when he has all of his resources available to him. So if Ulamog's probably good enough anyway, but the fail rate is higher, so to speak, or the situation where this card fails is better for you, it's okay to lean into that.
Game number 3 will be putting Michael back on the play. And see if Michael can get things set up. He was unable to remove Chalice of the Void last game, and he's going to have to fight through it again. Here's Chalice of the Void from Warfield.
All right.
Second time in a row.
This is the recipe for the post deck to win this matchup.
But how about this? Just starts on Wastes. Not a great land here. Normally it seems to start on Cloud Post. Really anything else?
That is the, let me do the math. Worst land in the deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean she kept a one-lander?
It's possible, or she is like City of Traders.
Okay.
And wanted to lead on something else first.
I guess maybe Vesuva's. Michael, you cracks the Lotus Petal to bounce, to use Echoing Truth to bounce Leyline on the Void. Now, Allie cannot get the Leyline back into play.
No, that is gone for good.
And, here's a Reanimate on a Gristlebrand. Maybe none of this matters. Michael gets into the graveyard, brings back the 7/7. Draws 7, goes to 4. Reanimator's a scary deck.
Oh, yeah. This is, my opponent just paid 16 life, but there's no way I could win. What a fun game of Magic.
These decks are why we register Force of Will sometimes.
Yep, exactly.
Allie did not, so that means when you don't register Force of Will, you accept that this kind of stuff will happen.
Yep.
And Sorcerer's Spyglass, that will get Force of Will. I was going to say prevent the draw 7, but no. Michael, too many resources for that. He'll attack Allie down to 14. Michael up to 10. Brainstorm again. Going to try to walk this one in. What are the landmines? Anything he has to care about out of her deck at this point?
Basically, there are worlds where Plummer pays some life with a Gristlebrand, and Allie randomly just gets to win with a Walking Ballista.
Okay, so maybe we don't draw another 7 here just yet.
Right, if your hand's fine as it is, just leave it. Just let this be a 7/7 flying lifelink creature.
Ancient Tomb from Warfield. Sorcerer's Spyglass again. You know, one of these times we're going to see Ancient Tomb win, okay? I know. Look, it's going to get there. I think it's had a rough day. It's had a rough day.
This game is not over, Matthias.
Okay.
We are watching.
No, I'm still cheering hard. It's because Ancient Tomb is in play. Okay, it's got the card.
We are watching a game of Magic that is undecided.
Michael's just drawing 7, then going to 2. That's what happens. Sometimes you got to draw 7. Did he go to 2? Wait, does this mean does the Ballista kill him?
Unfortunately, he is going to gain 7 more life.
Oh, we're still in the attack.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Well, right now
we're on Allie's
turn.
And she doesn't have fast mana here. Chalice of the Void on 1. You know, there's no way to make 2 more mana immediately and just Ballista and win.
Exactly, and the Sorcerer's Spyglass is naming Gristlebrand.
Okay. Takes a hit. Down to 5. Allie has 1 more turn. Michael up to 9, now out of range of a Ballista. He casts Careful Study.
I believe I see a Force of Will hiding out in his hand, unfortunately,
yeah,
for Allie, but
that should cover it.
That's just going to... Grixis is in such a good spot at this point.
Eldrazi's not the kind of deck to make 2 threats on a turn, so 1 Force of Will should let Michael survive to his next turn.
Exactly. There aren't exactly colorless answers to 7/7s that cost 1.
I can't... Brittle Effigy.
Theoretically, she can Ensnaring Bridge. Then when that gets countered, another land that taps for 2, Ensnaring Bridge.
Wow, just no respect. Just no respect. Came up with the 1 mana answer. Just no selling it. Michael gets the win. 2 games to 1. He improves to 5.